Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been a long time, and I'm gonna kind of get into why. There's been a lot of changes, so this is kind of just gonna be a life update, chit chat, where I kind of talk through some of the changes that have been going on and why it's been so long. Firstly, a lot of you guys on like Instagram, you'll see my stories and you'll see that I'm not in LA anymore. So I moved from LA to Florida. I'm just like, what, a part of the million people that left LA. On top of that, a lot of you guys have seen on my stories that I'm in school now and that I'm just like studying all the time. Me in college, never thought I would do that. And then you guys always want to know, like, what are you studying? What are you doing? And I've never really said all the changes and said what I'm doing. I just kind of post it and y'all are like, what? So firstly, as I'm sure some of you know, I do entertainment, or I did entertainment. Even if you go far back on this channel, all you'll see is my like music videos and like a bunch of entertainment stuff. And that's why I moved from the Bahamas to LA, was to continue, you know, my career of music and acting, which was going well enough. You know, it takes a long time, especially to build those relationships and get casting directors to trust you enough to cast you. And so that was like the journey I was on for like 5 years in LA. That stopped making me feel good, to put it simply. I don't think people realize how taxing the entertainment industry is and kind of how draining the arts are, because it's so personal and so vulnerable, and 99% of the gig is rejection. So that starts to wear on you, and it led me to a place of like extreme burnout, which after a while of getting called in for a bunch of auditions, like y'all, I was doing like 4 a day on average. And you know, being all of those people and going to acting classes and it just feeling like a rat race, like you're just on the hamster wheel. You just have a lot of moments of like, okay, I love the craft, but I hate auditioning more than I love the craft. That's where I got to. And then of course the pandemic happened. So that kind of led to, for me, a personal spiral, which I'm not gonna get into too much because I know that kind of topic can be triggering for some people, but I'll simplify it and just say I was dealing with debilitating anxiety problems that I could not go into an audition room anymore. I was unable to leave the bed, pretty much. And then the world just started shutting down around me. And it's really scary when you're in a big city for one purpose, because that's typically why most people go to a city. They have like a purpose, and the purpose gets yanked away from you. So now you're just there. And especially for someone who is not from that country, let alone state, you're just like, wow, I don't have family. I don't have my purpose. I don't have anything right now. I'm just kind of sitting in this LA apartment, not even loving what I'm here for anymore. So, you know, those thoughts just lead you to a place of, I have to make a change. I have to do something that feels fulfilling, feels more peaceful and sustainable. So that was where I meet both my boyfriend and I, because we met in acting class. And this is not to say that we're like never gonna do entertainment again. It's just you have to live in the now, and you have to make choices for what makes sense in your present. And that wasn't making no type of sense anymore. So we both came to a mutual agreement of like, yeah, we need to focus on mental health. We need to make our days enjoyable. What does that look like? Like, what does that mean? And firstly, we realized LA was just not the place where that type of rehabilitation and purpose would be found. It's almost like, and this is not to say this never happens successfully, but it's like when you go to college and you don't know why you're going to college, and you try to like figure out exactly why you're there while you're there. That's less ideal than being like, okay, I know exactly my my college plan. I'm gonna go for this particular purpose and this is what it's gonna look like for me. It's just way more seamless that way. And so we needed to kind of center ourselves and get somewhere where we could make those choices. And LA was not that place. You have to kind of know why you're in LA for it to make sense to be in LA. I hope that didn't confuse you. So he has a family friend that is in sonography. So very big segue. I am currently taking prerequisites for sonography, which if you don't know what that is, it's basically to become an ultrasound technician, which is a really awesome career. I mean, there's a ton. If you just look up sonography in YouTube, there's so many amazing informative videos on the career. Like, I can shout out Giselle right off the bat, who is so sweet and lovely, and like I'll link her channel below because I am not a sonography expert. I'm learning as I go, and I kind of want to take you guys with me as I learn and journey through this change, which is really exciting. But if you are looking for a lot of answers for what being in that career or starting that career looks like, then check out Giselle's channel. She's got everything you could ever want. So I will link it below. Yeah, my boyfriend had a family friend who introduced him to the idea. I was visiting my family in Florida, kind of just needed to get out of LA, and Dante called me and he was like, have you heard of sonography? This career, like, the more I hear about it, the more awesome it sounds, and it sounds like something you would be interested in. And I was just like, college? Like a totally different career in healthcare. I never thought about this. I don't know about this. So after we hung up, I did research, and literally, I kid you not, within like 5 minutes, I called him back and I was telling him all about it. And I was like, oh my gosh, you have to see this. You have to look at this. This is so cool. Like, look at how you only go for 2 years and look at this income. Like, it's so fulfilling. You get to help people. What? So it's just so cool when you're in a space. And I don't know if you guys can tell, I did not plan what I was gonna say. This is just like word vomit. But when you're in a space for so long where you are valued based on your looks, I mean, a lot of it is based on your looks. I want to say talent, but a lot of times that does not come first with the decisions of casting and getting booked. It's just so cool, the prospect of being valued based on your mind. It's like, wait a second. I can study and I can get A's and I can get into a program and I can help people. I'm not judged based on my talent or my looks. I'm judged based on my ability to think. That was just kind of like a light bulb moment for me of like, that's what I need. I need to get out of the BS and like do something that feels more real. Literally within like, like a couple weeks, I got into a college and I started taking the prerequisites. I am still taking the prerequisites right now. So this all happened like a year ago right now. March obviously is when everything came crashing down, but May of last year was when it was like, I'm at my wit's end, no. And then fall of last year is when I started school. And so fall of this year, I will be done all of my prerequisites. I have 2 classes left and I'm currently taking one of them for summer, and then fall is my last class, and then I will be able to apply to my first program, which hopefully I get into that one. Right now I have a 4.0 and I'm trying to keep that up because these programs are competitive as all heck. The reason why it made more sense to do this in Florida is because there's obviously some programs in California, but you're either paying like $50,000, so you're in debt, or the wait lists are like 5 to 7 years, ridiculous. We did so much research on accredited schools. You want to make sure it's accredited so you can sit for the board exams after and like not have to jump through hoops. And it just made more sense to look where we had family elsewhere and see if there are better options for schooling there, since we weren't loving LA anyway. And I have family in Florida. We would visit Florida like all the time. So we looked up the programs here and they were like $10,000. which if you save up, you can cash flow that. And it's only 2 years, and you know, the whole time rent is like $1,000 cheaper. So that was why that made sense. And we can just make choices as we go. We can decide where we want to live after the fact. That's the kind of gist of the journey. I feel like I took you guys on like a convoluted way of getting there, but I hope that made sense. So yeah, the big changes are I don't live in LA now, I live in Florida, and I've stepped away from entertainment for the time being. I need a breather, and I'm focusing on something that I feel a sense of reward from. Because another thing about entertainment is your efforts don't necessarily equate to your reward. Whereas in college, and knowing why I'm going to college and doing just that one thing, I can give it my all, and exactly what I put in is what I get out of it. If I study enough, I get the A. If I don't, I get the F. That feels, I just need that in my life right now. And so yeah, that's basically the life update. I've been taking such a long break because I had no idea what content to make for you guys. I didn't know like what to talk about. Everything was just moving. There were so many moving parts that I didn't know how to document it, and if you guys would even be interested. But I definitely do want to bring you guys along on my journey. That's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've missed you, and I will be back soon. All right.